All right. Hello. This is gonna be like a proper recital. I'm gonna apologize right now that I don't have accompaniment for this because it turns out my headphones do suck ass, and I can't hear whenever I have accompaniment playing. So you're gonna get a raw dog performance of this, and I'm sorry. But today I will be playing Nocturno by Franz Strauss, and I hope you enjoy it. Jack, you actually can do that before you start playing. It depends on the type of recital, though. I'll talk about that in the AMA. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the performance. Do you guys want to go back to this? This is kind of fun. Should we do this for the AMA? I feel like this is better. Hi, everybody. That was the recital. I hope you enjoyed it. We should... No, I'm going to keep you guys in the audience. You're staying in the audience for this. I think this is what we do today. I'll just get a little bigger. Yeah, I'm giving a seminar. Exactly. Hi, Melissa. Hello. I'll just get bigger. I'm like a giant giving a seminar. The overlay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the performance. I'm going to put back on what we were listening to, which was Pictures at an Exhibition. And I'll just kind of put on different classical pieces today that I like. If anyone's got any questions about pieces, maybe if they want to hear something specific, throw ideas out there. And also, if it's too loud, obviously we can tone that shit down. It's so hard with classical music because it'll get so quiet that you can't hear it. And then all of a sudden the orchestra will be like, we're gonna go balls to the wall. And then it gets like stupid loud. So if it gets distracting, we'll change it. But we'll take that one step at a time. Ad Purgatory's among us. Oh no. You should make your camera smaller. Okay, we'll do that. That's true. It kind of ruins the vibe, doesn't it? This is better, right? Spooky's kind of got a good point. Oh! Jack, you're so right. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's not in cathedral mode. I had to turn it. I had to get really inventive with my audio setup. This was still not quite exactly what I wanted, but it got the job done. Yes, it was the reverse cardioid because this is on like a low profile movable boom stand, and recording French horn is notoriously a pain in the ass. So you have to place it very particularly with the bell. I mean, you were in band. The fact that the bell's behind us and we got our meat suit of a hand makes recording a nightmare. So I had to move it around, get a little special. I did have to adjust my mic for the horn. I didn't do it on actual settings because I know it would have been a son of a bitch to immediately move back to an AMA. And I don't know how to do like separate profiles. I'm not that good at audio engineering, which we'll talk about today, actually. I'm just a performer. You just give me the music and I go on stage. Stuffing your hands in holes and V horny. You're right. Yep, that's us, baby. That's why we also call it porn performance. Everyone always mishears our degree for that. It's like, what do you major in? Horn performance. Did you just say porn performance? No, I did not. No, I did not say that. Gang, I'm gonna miss, unfortunately, a lot of your texts and stuff above, but I see a ton of people here. Thank you for being here. I see Rick, I see Echo, I see Tyria, I see Smooches here. I saw Janko in the beginning. I see Jack. Thank you guys so much for being here. Kestrel, hello. The final note. I actually kind of botched it a bit, so I'm glad you didn't notice. Oh, God. Only horns. Exactly. All right, gang, this begins the AMA section of it, which allows us to just talk about my old life, which truly feels like a lifetime ago. You can ask me about music. You can ask me about what we're listening to. Whoops. You can ask me about my instrument, the music I just played, what it was like training in college. I'm prepared to bring up some old videos. Not really, it's more like a video. Well, no, there's some stuff I could probably scrounge up on YouTube. There's definitely some stuff I could scrounge up on YouTube for sure. You heard it here, folks. The degree program at OnlyFans University has been launched. The porn performance program. Stop. I have a BA and how are you guys on this Saturday morning too? I hope you're doing well. That was a nice little way to start your day. You laid Ian down. He's upset and realized he couldn't see Alyssa. Oh, little baby. Hi, Ian. How old is that horn? That's a great question. I'll talk a bit about it. Um, this horn is a Yamaha Custom 867. I know a lot of here probably don't know what that means, but Yamaha between like the 60s through the 80s released two main 800 series horns, and they're all gorgeous and customized, and I love them. So this is the 867. The first series was the 861, 862, 863. That came out earlier, I think in the late 60s going into 70s. I think mine came out in the late 70s to the early 80s, and there's only, I don't want to say a handful of them because that makes it sound like there's only like 10. I think there's like a couple hundred of them in the world, and that goes for both of the series. Actually, if you were here when I talked about my good friend and I for Music League, I was talking about how I almost submitted Parade the musical because my friend and I used to go around gigging and playing in orchestras in the southeast of the United States in college. And she also played on a horn. She played on an 861, and I play on an 867. Aren't they pretty? I just love them. They're unlacquered. They're so nice. Oh, my baby. My fucking baby. When I bought it in college, it cost more than my car did. It's still pretty fucking expensive. I love the no shine. I know, I did too. I used to hate this look. So this look, when it's not like, you guys know how like most trumpets look, or like marching band instruments and that kind of thing. So those are typically called lacquered instruments, and you can get like a nickel silver lacquer, a gold lacquer. That's really common though. I used to hate this look. This is called an unlacquered look, right? Because it's literally just the raw metal. I used to hate this, and then somewhere around my junior year, I completely jumped ship, and I was like, actually, unlacquered is the only way to go now. I completely did a 180 in my second half of college, and I was like, actually, this is what I want now. But I'm also not an elitist. Some people will say that the lacquered people are wrong. I'm not going to say that. I think people just need to get good, if I'm being for real. But it's more of an aesthetic choice. The blowing into it without sound and turning it around, is that clearing spit or what? It is. It's clearing spit, and I also need to address the people as they're starting. Watch out. It is also condensation, because the instrument will get very cold. And so as you blow your warm air into, I mean, the French horn is so wrapped up. It's something like 20 feet of tubing. So you're blowing warm air into like 20 feet of tubing before it comes out the other end. And it will slowly accumulate spit and condensation. And then because it is so long, it gets stuck in so many nooks and crannies that for this wrap in particular, I do have to flip it around and get it out sometimes. What's the time and key signatures? This guy's actually not too bad. For me, it's an A flat, which means it is in concert D flat. So 5 flats. For me, I only read 4. I know you probably know that, Jack, because I know you were a band kid. I'm gonna try to, if anyone asks questions, I'm never going to try to patronize you. I'm going to try to answer it for even like people who don't understand anything about music. And the time signature is actually just common time. It's just an extremely rubato piece from the Romantic period, which is another reason why playing with the accompaniment was an issue, because I couldn't hear it, and it kept like doing this, and then I was doing this at different times, and it wasn't working. Okay, question 2. What's your favorite composer to listen to and to play? So those are actually, for me, kind of 2 different answers. I think it's kind of like baseball, where I really like playing baseball, but watching professional baseball is much less fun to me. I would say playing, I love any Romantic era composer. I really love playing Schubert. I really love Strauss. This is Franz Strauss, but I also love Richard Strauss. Any Romantic period, which is the kind of music you just heard is Romantic. The kind of music you're hearing right now, I wouldn't say is Romantic, but it's close to that era. Things I don't like are Mozart, which is what I would call the classical era. That shit sucks. Okay. So that's my favorite to play. My favorite to listen to, I love Beadlow. This song rocks. I'll turn it down though. I'm sorry. It's probably loud. See, classical music does that. I'm gonna say for the longest time it was Mahler, Shostakovich. You know what it is? You know what my answer is? My favorite to listen to? I like Russian composers. I think that's a good blanket. Tchaikovsky, Shostakovich. I know Mahler's not like Russian, but like he kind of fits the vibe. Oh, there's also, wait, the Finnish composer, Sibelius. Sibelius is up there for me. If anyone doesn't know anything about classical music, look up Sibelius. His shit slaps. Russian composers do know their shit. I think it's because they're so like tragic and sad. I don't know. Their music just says something to me. You know what I mean? If y'all ever seen Shostakovich interviewed during the era of Stalin, it's like you're like, oh no, what's going on over there? I mean, we know what's going on over there, but like, you know, it looks like you have a horn. I'm sorry, guys. I'll catch up on chat. I just like talking a lot. I see Crazy's here. Hello. Thank you so much for the W background. Tyria, the bell does come off. So for those that don't know, some French horns have a detachable bell. So this one, I hope you can still hear the mic. So you see this ring around my instrument? I can actually screw off the bell. I can screw it on and off, which is mostly for convenience purposes. It typically costs more money. But if you do have it, man, you can put it in a backpack. It's a lot easier to carry. Because otherwise, it's a pain in the ass. How is coming back to horning? Was it like riding a bike or more like, oh fuck, I used to be good at this? Honestly, a bit of both. I made so many mistakes playing this thing I just played that if I played it at my prime in like 2017, 2018, I could have done a lot better. But considering I haven't played at a professional level in 8 years and I came back to it, there's a lot I do remember. And I still have a 3.5 octave range, maybe 3 octave range. I used to have a 4 to 4.5 octave range, which is like a possible on horn, extremely difficult to keep up with, right? That's kind of like the people that go to the gym and they go to the gym like daily, where like, you know, people will say when to keep up that level of fitness, it's almost like another full-time job, or at least a very dedicated part-time job. So it's kind of like that. Could I do better with it? And I miss playing at that caliber? Yeah, but not at the extent of like all the other things I have going in my life right now. So it's a bit in between. Tyria's got to have that flash and shine. That kind of like, I don't know. I get it. If you were in Ohio State's marching band, they got all that. I feel. Matches the sound of the horn so well. Doesn't show fingerprints. This is true. It does not. Let me catch up. I enjoy music. Imagine the world without music. But still with dancing. Just imagine. There's nothing like having a movement rehearsal on a stage after the instruments have their fluids at the rehearsal there. Echo, I actually think about that so often. You guys don't know, but I actually have a rag that whenever I practice, I have this and wash it. I do wash it. Okay, don't judge me. It's not like 3 years of spit in here. I do have a rag though. And I was emptying out on a rag because I am not emptying on my new wood floors. Relatively new. New to me. Flats are so much better than sharps for a horn. Yes, they are. 100%. So I don't mind that there's 4 of them. I am vocalist, but give me 7 sharps over 7 flats any day. Really? I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. I do like when a key signature has a lot of flats for the sounds. You can just tell there's more color in the timbre, you know? That's me with pretty much everything I enjoy doing. Watching and doing are 2 totally separate categories. Yes, I completely agree with that. They're normally answered separately. I know nothing about music. I just like it. Cannot read sheet mucus. That's great though, Janko. I mean, honestly, you talking about Russian composers know their shit. You sound like you know more than the average person. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't even be able to name a Russian composer, you know? As a soprano, I'm obliged to love singing Mozart. The melodies are so lovely. Okay, but that's because, listen, they're all like arpeggios and scales, and they're all like light and like sprightly, right? So like, for those that don't know, like the Magic Flute aria is like classic Mozart, the one where they go like bum 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 beep bum beep bum 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 beep bum bum, except it's an octave higher, which I'm not gonna fucking try right now because I know I can't do it. And it's insane. And I can imagine that feels like you're a fucking gymnast as a vocalist. I can't stand that. And it's not even like I don't like scales. I actually really like playing scales and arpeggios. I used to be the crazy girl that practiced them 3 hours a day. I practiced them 1 hour a day, but 3 hours total. And people thought I was crazy. But I had to do it. I had scale juries. Big agree. Lower brass. I feel so much more naturally inclined to, the flats. Yep. And that makes sense. That's what band directors do. Sibelius? Is that how you say it? Instead of Sibelius? I'm going to tell you right now, Rick, everyone in the music world doesn't say it right. My concert horn case was stupid big. Yeah, I can show you guys my case. It's right over here. I just kind of want to catch up. What does octave range mean on the horn? I know it means the range of sound, but what do you do to make it happen on the horn that makes it so difficult? Yeah, so I can... okay, that's going to take... Octane is fuel. Yeah, so you got to fill your horn with some diesel first. You got to make sure that shit's charged up or else it ain't going to play none. I also see OHIO. Let's go. OH. Hell yeah. So for range on the horn, this is going to be different for every instrument, or I should say every category of instrument. If you, okay, I see the bottom. Excellent. If you play a brass instrument, all of the notes that come out come from the muscles in your face and the air coming through your mouth muscles, which we call our embouchure. If you hear me say the word embouchure from here on out, that literally refers to like the kissing muscles in our cheek, all of that, what our tongue does within our mouth, our soft palate, etc. That all refers to embouchure muscles. So our muscles look like this. It's a stupid face, so this is what I look like. They're tightened and stretched in a very specific way so that a buzzing sensation forms in your lips, right? Horny's the horn. Don't suck, just blow, am I right? That's a real band joke. Don't quote me up. Don't. That's a real band joke. I didn't come up with that. So, as we set up our mouth muscles to do that, our air then, as it goes past our lips, creates a buzz, depending on how our muscles are exactly stretched and pulled in whatever directions. So then a lot of that will come from how our air moves, right? So then range is a combination of how quickly is our air moving through our mouth, like to get out and into the instrument, as well as how kind of like tight our embouchure is. Whenever you teach brass instruments, or really any instrument, but I say brass particularly for a reason, you have to be very aware to not say tighten up to students, or be very careful when you say it. Because when you say tighten up, they'll go like, and they'll just like clamp down and close up, which is not what you want. That's how you get a very tinny, thin, kind of scratchy tone, which is not good to listen to. But you do have to be solid around so that the middle of your mouth, which is called your aperture, can let air out and buzz. So it'll sound like this. That buzzing sound I'm getting is what actually makes the sound happen in the instrument. The range I'm getting is from me adjusting my tongue position how quickly my air is moving through my mouth, as well as how I'm tightening all these muscles. The main ones being, and I know you might know this because you've been studying anatomy. There's like a kissing muscle. It's a ring that wraps around your face here. There's muscles that kind of connect backwards like this across your face. Those pull back. And then there's kind of a triangular muscle here that pulls down. And so I'm kind of coordinating, trillion billion muscles in the face. So I'm kind of coordinating all of those with my tongue and my air to make different notes happen. So range is a combination of how accurate are you at making those fine adjustments and all of that? And for the high range, do you have enough muscle to do it? If you do not have the muscle in your face to actually make it happen, then like it's going to be like trying to deadlift weights that you're not ready for and you'll hurt yourself or you just won't get the weights off the ground. It was a very long explanation, but I hope that makes sense. And all brass instruments are like that. So the instrument, most of the time, there's a caveat, the instrument most of the time is not limited by range. Woodwind instruments are, right? There's a bottom note to the clarinet. There's a bottom note to the saxophone. They can't go any lower. Sorry. For French horn and most brass instruments, it's typically as far as you can make it. And most of the time we bottom out at the same spot. Like, okay, yeah, there's like pedal notes. There's only so far you can make those sound good and accurate, whatever. But high range is literally like, where do you cap out? I used to cap out. If you see this note right here that I'm pointing at, I'm covering my face. This note here, if you read treble clef, is a high F in the staff, or at the top of the staff rather. I know if you play bass clef, that's an A, but pretend you read treble clef, it's an F. I used to be able to play the note above that, above the staff. That was not an easy note to hit, but if you needed me to hit that like in a horn choir piece or something, I could do it. E flat above the staff was like I can hit that note. F was like, once. If you need me to hit this once in a piece, I could do it. I can't do that anymore. That's gone. That ability is beyond me. All right, let me catch up because I think I saw Kestrel's message. Sorry, these are taking a while. I just really like talking about it. I've taken several music appreciation type classes. I also really enjoy listening to classical type music and the information surrounding them. I just cannot read sheet music. I've tried. I mean, it takes so many years. I think I've read music since I was in 4th grade, and I'm not even shitting you, Janko. There was like a lock-in moment in high school in like 10th grade, and then my real lock-in moment to be able to sight read was like my senior year of college when I was like training. It's it's not easy. Oh, you taught your parrot to sing when you were younger? And you love sing. That's so cute, Kestrel. Oh my god. Yep, I turned off the face scan and the notes, the sounds. Yep, I thought ahead today. Trick to being a horn player, huff diesel fumes. Oh my god, I'm behind. Hold on. Gang, I'm gonna go to the bottom a bit just so I don't miss too much, but if you say something or ask a question, feel free to repost today. I won't take any offense to it or anything. You gotta do what you gotta do. Get your information from me. Stuff with the ambusher is funny. My best friend played trumpet in band. My dad did some kind of trumpet. My mom played flute. I almost played flute. I actually wanted to play flute first when I was doing instrument. We often call them instrument tryouts or like petting zoos in the States, where when you first sign up for a beginning band class, you go around with your band director and normally other professionals, and they quickly teach you this embouchure stuff I'm telling you. And they have you try to just make any sound on the instrument. And they'll kind of see like, oh, is this coming naturally to you or not? Is your tone naturally good, or is it kind of like less, instinctive for you? Oh shit, we're almost at the Great Gates. Guys, this song is about Baba Yaga. We're in the hut of Baba Yaga right now. Anyways, Yeah, you'll do like instrument petting zoos. And whenever I did that first petting zoo thing, I wanted to do flute and I was the fucking worst at it. I was the fucking worst. Ironically, I got a really good score on horn, but I didn't know anything about it. So I wanted to do percussion. And then I did percussion for 6 years, 7 years before switching to horn. Wild times. Oh, here we go. The Great Gate is among us, guys. Wait, let's just listen to this. The trumpet sounds so good. They have no right. They have no right. All right, I'll turn that back down. If you want to listen to this, or if anyone has any questions, I'll try to maybe like put in Discord or something pieces I had going in the background, because I know, like Janko said, they had really liked some of the stuff in the beginning. That way you guys can start your own classical music journey, because some of it's really good. Some of it, I'll admit, is kind of boring and sucks ass to listen to, but some of it is like the stuff of dreams. Every once in my life, have I been able to spell embouchure without Googling it? Did you Google it just now, Jack? I'm pretty sure it starts with a no. What's the pressure feedback on your face like on horn compared to trumpet or tuba? I can't really speak for tuba too much. So I did learn, because I have a music ed degree as well as performance, right? Credits. Like I've done all of that. My music ed degree required me to learn every single instrument, and I had to at least be able to play like 4 scales on every instrument. I think like a grade 2 etude, a couple other things, but they had to make you like semi-proficient to where you could play probably in like a high school band on every single instrument, right? Not like a top high school band, but like, you know, you could kind of like, okay, I'm learning oboe. I can play 4 scales. Let's go. So that was a while ago, and admittedly, I do forget a lot of it. Trombone and euphonium, I feel like, are the easiest to get started on, because the mouthpiece is like, it's like you have to fight the mouthpiece size the most. And what I mean by that is about this big. It's like a medium. It covers your mouth like a medium amount. I'm going to make some questionable clips today, aren't I? Whereas like tuba, because it's lower, yeah, probably has less resistance. But I remember trying the tuba. It felt like the tuba mouthpiece probably covers like this much of your mouth. It is so big, and it's probably because I'm used to French horn. It felt like it was like across my face like this. And I felt like I was like, like the whole time. It was so bad. So you gotta have some real lungs. You gotta get ready for tuba. I honestly feel like French horn actually has equal pressure feedback to the trombone and euphonium. The only thing that makes it feel, I think, a little bit harder than trombone euphonium is that the mouthpiece is smaller. So personally, and that's one reason why I loved horn a lot more than trumpet, right? Is because trumpet at that age started triggering my migraines a bit. It was a little harder to play. Because the French horn mouthpiece is so small, it requires you to be way more accurate, and it's more sensitive to like the little facial tweaks, if that makes sense. French horn itself already, for science reasons, physical science reasons, chips a lot more. As in the notes, it's a lot easier to miss notes on that instrument more than any brass instrument. All the other brass instruments are built the same, except horn. And I can talk about that more later too. But yeah, I'd say out of all the instruments I've played, trumpet and oboe probably have the worst feedback. And for those that don't know what I mean when I say feedback, is whenever you blow into any instrument, a wind instrument of any kind, you blow into it with a buzz, and you're fighting the resistance of the instrument to make the sound happen. So typically on the back of your head, you can feel the pressure build up, right? Because you're blowing into something that's resistant. So it's resistant and it pushes back at you. And you feel that back here. Again, in instruments like I think horn, trombone, euphonium, feel it a little bit, especially in the high range, but not so much. Tuba, I can imagine not at all. Oboe and trumpet, you'll be like, it's like, oh my God. What am I doing? What am I doing? My range will probably be different than Alyssa's. I'm more comfortable with notes below the staff than above. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing, Tyria. I kind of specialized in both depending on what ensemble I was in, which was weird. In operas, I was like the low horn bitch. And I would normally play fourth horn or like marching band whenever we do this thing called Skull Session at Florida State. You guys might do it at Ohio State too. But Skull Session is like when each of the sections put together their own arranged piece to play for the audience as like a pregame for the football game. So all of the marching horn players each week would arrange like, I don't know, fucking Tetris or the latest pop song or whatever they felt like. And we'd all play it together. And the fourth horns were always the music majors because we were the only ones that could play like a bass clef and pedal notes. So the music majors were always fourth horn. And there was always some kind of non-music major that could play really high, but they could fucking never. It was really funny. So it was like depending on the group I was in. And then in orchestras, I was a high horn player. But like operas, I remember I was low horn a lot. Marching band, I often played really low because they needed it. It's so funny. Horn is also weird like that, where you really specialize in ranges that in other instruments you kind of do, but not in the same way. Okay, I'm so far behind. Did we start exhibitions over? Well, we have to put on something new. I'll do that when I catch up. Reading music is also a visual processing nightmare. Yeah, that's true. And Echo, my visual processes, ironically, are so much better than my auditory processes. Like, I rely so much more on sheet music than I do, like, transcription. I can't do that. Alyssa, if I had to do it all over again, would you still choose French horn or something else? 100%. I would choose French horn. I would choose French horn from the beginning, and I would kick ass because of it. I would not be 7 years behind all of my peers in college trying to catch up. 100%. I think I maxed out at a high A on euphonium in my prime. That's pretty good though, isn't it? I'm not as familiar with the ranges as I should be, having an ed degree, honestly, because I ditched that information very early. It was one sustained note in one of my last pieces we ever played together. It was a lovely note at the end of the solo. Jack, you gotta remind me at the end of this, we gotta play First Suite in F for the euphonium players. You know what I'm gonna do for Rick, because I see Rick requesting Sibelius. Rick, you probably know this. Do you know Finlandia? Is it this one? No, that's not it. Do you know Finlandia? I can't imagine the Finns don't know Finlandia. That's what I'm putting on. Gang, this song's literally about Finland. Written by the Finnish composer. For Finland. Called Finlandia. Do you know it? I mean, I figured you did, but like, I don't know. Sometimes people don't know this stuff. Flute is a nightmare for people with wiggly teeth. Yes, and also flute is very particular about your lip shape, particularly your upper lip shape. It is never impossible to play an instrument if your anatomy doesn't completely align with it. I'm a firm believer of that, right? But it's definitely like gonna make it a little harder for you in some regards. Okay, let me see. Tuba feels like you're blowing raspberries. Absolutely it does, which is weird. I don't like that. I love a good tuba. I don't like it. I don't want to play it. I can fully admit euphonium trombone is the easiest mouthpiece. When I've played trumpet, I've been absolutely shook at how small the mouthpiece is. Yeah, because also with trumpet mouthpieces, like mine, I even have, don't judge me, mine's all black and I have to like fix it. It's like tarnished and shit. So this mouthpiece even goes, you see how far back it goes from the actual rim at the end here, right? Ooh, sure, that's fine. You can see it. A trumpet mouthpiece stops like here. And sometimes they can get extremely shallow. So you feel like your mouth is like, it's like right there. Yeah, how do you get any air into it? I completely agree. I didn't know it was easier to chip on horn. Oh yeah. I can actually I do want to explain the science of that a bit because it is fascinating. I like playing around with Zeno's trumpet, but it is a lot on the head. Yeah, I mean, especially because Echo, you're like me and you get migraines, right? I started developing my migraines when I was like 17, 18 years old. They were much rarer, but then through college, they started ramping up. And in my senior year of college, I actually played trumpet in a jazz band. And I was the solo trumpet because I was like, the rest of the section, we were all playing secondary instruments, as in all of us didn't play trumpet primarily, but we were learning trumpet for this jazz band we were in. But all of them were like oboists or flute players. One dude was a euphonium player, and then there was me. So I was the most used to like the trumpet mouthpiece and fingerings. So they were like, "Oh, you'll do this. Like you'll switch off with lead and soloist with the other oboist because she marched in marching band with me." And we were like, "Okay, let's try it." And then my migraines fucking skyrocketed after those jazz performances, dude. I came back very wrong. So how my touchpad timed out Smooch. Oh no, Smooch! It's okay, Smooch is back. I see them. I see you. I knew you didn't like me, but damn. No, Smooch, we need you here for this don't suck, just blow energy. You want to know, I learned that joke in a high school band. Don't suck, just blow was said in high school marching band. That's what we did. That's what we did. No wonder I am the way that I am. You had it at Ohio State. I don't remember who had it first. Oh, Skull Session? That's cool, dude. I figured. I know other universities have Skull Session. That makes sense. Oh my god, am I far behind? Okay, hold up. I'm going. There's Sibelius. Boom. Solo was given to me because I was the only one who could play the high A. It was supposed to be a trombone solo. I mean, but if you got a better player in the band, I would have, as a director, I would have done the same thing. I would have done that. What are we doing? Isaiah, I just played a French horn recital and now I'm answering your classical music questions. Tell me more about flute upper lip shape. So I'm not the person to ask. I know this because my very good friend, Adrian, who is Miss Leopard, you've seen her play Lethal Company with us in some clips and such whenever we do the Too Many Hoots multiplayer stuff. She is a fantastic flute player. We've played in some orchestras together at college where she was the piccolo player. She knows her shit, man. She's good at it. And she's talked to me a little bit about upper lip shape with flute, where I think if you have a teardrop lip, so if you know what I'm talking about, let me see if I can bring up some of this stuff over here. Teardrop lip. I think if you have a teardrop lip, it's considered like extremely difficult to play flute because whenever you form the embouchure, it like cuts off. It basically like, if your air is supposed to be a circular column, and that does work best for the instrument, the teardrop literally like cuts off the top and it will make the air not move the way it should through the instrument, and it just makes it more difficult. So let me see if I can. Okay, that's not great. Sure, I don't think this is the best picture, but we'll show this, sure. Okay, do you guys see how the lip can kind of come down like this? Now, I'm sure you've seen people when they're just resting their face. This middle part can come down a lot more, and it's really pretty. Disney, thank you so much. Huzzah! Subbing for almost 2 years? Hold up, I don't have it up. How many? 20 months! Thank you. I also hope you had a great time with RE9. I gotta be real, I'm obsessed with it. And I think I might go back and play all the old RE games at some point. So I hope you're enjoying it. Anyways, the teardrop thing. So sometimes when you've seen people resting their face, you probably notice their lips will have like a lot more like curves and like motion in the line that makes their actual lip shape. If you have a bigger teardrop, that makes playing flute incredibly more difficult. However, I'm also of the teaching that like, I never want to tell anyone no because I was told no over and over again for horn, and then I fucking made it a career. You know what I mean? So like there's a line, but for sure like anatomy in general. I mean, just like with sports, right? Like if you say I want to be a pro basketball player, but you're like 5'3", that's going to be really fucking difficult for you. Am I going to let you play high school basketball? Like, sure. Are you going to make the NBA? Like, probably not. But, you know, you have a thin upper lip, big cupid's bow, and big teardrop. Yes. And downturned mouth. Echo C, I hate to tell you, flute would be difficult. Thank you for confirming that picking the flute back up might not be the way to go. It's just like, again, not impossible, right? If you want to play in a community band, absolutely you could. Because I know you have a musical ear, if you're really wanting to work on the little things, like work on tone, musicianship, really get like a line sounding the way you want, not impossible. It's going to be more difficult. You're probably going to struggle sounding like the flutes in the New York Phil. You know, like achieving that's going to be more difficult, but I don't think impossible. Yeah. On the bright side, if you do suffer from migraines, flute doesn't have any back pressure, but you also use a lot more air. So it's, I don't know. It's kind of tiring that way. Flutes like almost hyperventilate when they play. It's a very different kind of problem they have. Okay, hold on, let me... Sibelius put the gist of Finland into one song. We have a term for it, like national song rather than anthem. And this is it. I actually learned about that when I studied this in music history, because he was one of the people that helped Finland like really develop their national identity, right? So I'm not sure if it's still true, but when we switched to mellophones in the Ohio State Marching Band, we had to put in adapters because the music department didn't want horn players using trumpet mouthpiece. So we had French horn mouthpieces. That makes sense. My high school did the exact same thing, my high school. And I completely get it because I played mellophone on a trumpet mouthpiece once and I said, fuck this shit. And I hated it. I hated it so much. Now, Tyria, I only ever marched horn because we had in Florida State's marching band, we had marching horns and mellophones. They read off the same music. But for those that don't know, I'll pull this up too. A mellophone, because you don't march French horn, right? You don't march this sumbitch. You can in like the old, like sometimes you'll see like the British group march in front of Buckingham Palace and they'll march with this. But that's very like, I would say like so traditional. It's like untraditional at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like no marching band actually does that anymore. So they have to find alternative instruments for horn players. Whereas, you know, trumpets still play trumpet, trombone still play trombone, whatever. So for horn players, there's a couple different options and there's two main ones that they've settled on. So there's one called a mellophone, which you may have heard me or Tyria talk about. Looks like this. This is a mellophone. They look very, very similar to a trumpet. They often use a trumpet mouthpiece. Hi, Paula. Good morning. So like slightly different shapes. It's a little more squat. And then obviously the bell is fucking huge compared to a trumpet, right? Trumpet bell is like fucking half that size and it comes out a bit further. That's how you get a different sound on it. There's another thing called the marching French horn. Which then, I don't even think it's called a marching French horn. It's called like a marching horn and it's in B flat, right? Yeah, here's what I played in college. I marched horn ever 1 year. Every other year I was either drum major or I was in drum line because I was a percussionist. So I did 1 year of marching when I was at Florida State. Where is it? Here we go. So this is a marching French horn. You can tell the bell flares out a bit sooner than a mellophone does. And this is a lot bigger. It's a bit more spread out. It's less compact. So it comes down a lot lower. It's a lot bigger in your hand. But it has like a little bit more of a similar sound to a French horn than a mellophone does. That bell is huge. Seeing beyond that to march is hard. Yes, it is. It is difficult. It's definitely a lot more difficult than marching, I feel like trumpet is, as far as like the physical object. I don't fucking know how trombone players do it though. I'm gonna be real. I feel like marching trombone, when you have to like do the slides and shit, I don't know how people do that, but that's what? Whoa. Okay, let's see what we got. Looking at my lips now in the mirror. Yeah, there's definitely lip shapes for all of the instruments that make a difference. They say if your lips are too big, it's going to be harder to play certain woodwind instruments. I think even the double reeds, don't quote me on that, but I think oboe is harder to play if your lips are too like plush almost. I'm going to pick up euphonium and join band with Zeno. Euphonium's great. Oh, excuse me. What are we on now? I actually don't know this one. Oh, you know what I'll put on for you guys? Let's put on Smetana. Smetana is a good one. Yeah. What's this? Okay, gang, I'm putting on Mauve Lost. Mauve Lost. I never know how to say that. It's by Smetana, though. It's a good one. You'll like it. You'll like it. It's pretty. I can't really tell what I have because my eyes get drawn to my beautiful, soulful, smoldering eyes. Hi, Ember. Sorry, I missed you. Yes, we are doing a music AMA. I did a little French horn recital, which people should be able to watch back in the VOD if they want. And then, yeah, I'm answering any of your classical music questions, instrument questions. I used to be a professional in orchestras playing the French horn. So I'm here answering anything y'all got. Also, thank you for that 60 stream streak. That's fucking incredible. I love you for that. I think I made Percy upset. Thank you for that in the sub, Disney. Did I miss the RE stuff? I'm hyped to play more. I did indeed already die. I mean, some of it's really difficult. I get it. When the marching band was first started, they used alto horns and switched to mellophones in 97 because that's what most people are used to playing. Yep, in high school. Yeah, I definitely feel like mellophones took over. They actually, the year I marched in Florida State, those marching horns I just showed, those were new. And the music majors got first priority because they were even more similar to the French horn. But if they wanted to play mellophone, they could. Then if other people wanted to try them. The cool thing is, and I know only Tyria will probably understand this, the marching French horn, it's like a marching B-flat horn. So it's not exactly. It's very similar to playing French horn because all the fingerings are literally, it's a B-flat horn, right? So it's the same as if you leave the trigger down. So it made me really good at alternate fingerings when I sight read. Because then when I went back to my horn, if it ever made it easier for me to just switch to all B-flat fingerings, I got better at sight reading that. And I'll explain to the people exactly what that means. Oh wait, never mind. Rick's got a question. I'll come back to that. Next question. What the hell does the conductor do that's important? And how much can you even look at the wacky inflatable arm waving man at the front of you if you're looking at notes? Okay, that's a great question. A conductor does more than just wave arms. They help rehearse. So it's kind of like a bit of a two-part question. They help rehearse. So when you're actually in rehearsal, you're putting together kind of the conductor's vision. Whenever I was hired to play in an orchestra, it's my job to communicate what's on paper as much as I can. But when I'm playing for that conductor of that orchestra, I'm making their musical vision come to life. So if something says forte on the paper and they're like, hey, horns, especially like, let's say I'm playing horn 2. Hey, horns, especially horn 2, I don't need as much of you in this harmony, or I don't need as much of your timbre in this part here. Then fuck the paper saying forte. I cross that out and I play piano, which is how you say quiet on sheet music, right? So you're really helping them create their vision. If they want to change something stylistically or make it a certain way for whatever reason, you're there for them. Very similar to how in my concept art jobs, I wasn't just making cool art that I wanted. I reported to an art director that the art director had like the main idea of what the TV show was supposed to look like, right? And I'm just there to help kind of like facilitate that. So when you're hired for an orchestra, it's very much the same kind of thing. The other thing is the more complicated the music gets, holy shit, does it help to have the wacky inflatable arm waving man up there. Perhaps the most difficult pieces I've played are Maslanka Symphony No. 4 for band, which I should put some of these. I'll maybe make like a little list of stuff I can put down in the Discord for y'all. So we've listened to Pictures today. I'll do Maslanka 4. And then the most difficult orchestra piece I've played is The Rite of Spring by Oh my god, Stravinsky. Holy shit, I blanked out there for a second. The Rite of Spring by Stravinsky. Which you guys have probably heard of The Rite of Spring. Actually, you know what? Let's put that shit on. Because that's a long one too. The Rite of Spring was one I played with the Tallahassee Symphony. And my fucking god, is it the weirdest sheet music you've ever read? You don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, Rite of Spring's fucking wild. You bet. Oh my god, changing time signature. So like typically in a piece you get a time signature, right? So up here, this little C tells me common time, which means 4 beats in a measure, 4 beats of quarter notes, right? So all I have to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4. The Rite of Spring changes that shit so often that if you're trying to coordinate a larger orchestra than normal, because like even Rite of Spring, we had 2 tubas in an orchestra, which is weird if you know what I'm talking about. We had 8 horns, 2 tubas, I think like 6 fucking trumpets. It was crazy. And to coordinate like 80, 90 people to all be in the same spot when we also have to rest, as in like tacit and not play for long periods at a time and then come in, that guy has the fucking answer key and we'll be looking. And most of the time they're well studied, right? So they actually have like the whole thing memorized. A lot of the time they do. So like he'll just know like, yeah, this part, and then the horns, boom, you come in. And there's nothing better than when you make eye contact with the conductor and you're like, this is my part, right? Do I come in? And they're like, and then they give you the cue and you're like, yeah, I fucking nailed it. We're doing it. So also in the moment, their job is to kind of make sure in the performance, they lead the helm of the ship. They are the captain that helps keep everyone together. They also help instill a kind of energy. A lot of times you'll see them also kind of act and make like facial expressions to kind of convey what the music is doing, which does help, I think, with the performer's synergy on stage. So yeah, it's twofold. It's captain of the ship at a live performance, and they are also the directors and the visionaries when you are actually rehearsing the piece. I talk a lot. I was mistaken about my dad. He played cornet. Okay, so you got a lot of trumpet players. Nice. Have you heard Ohio State play Hang on Sloopy? Oh yeah, I have. There's a horn swing that goes along with it. I tried to play trombone in the pep band at the volleyball game. I stopped playing because I could not swing and move the slide. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I don't know how trombone players do it. Whenever they do like big... In college marching bands, if anyone ever watches American college football or just that... You've seen a clip of a college marching band, they'll do like this while they're playing, which is like fine if you're pressing buttons. I mean, even that's kind of difficult because you have to keep the mouthpiece in the same fucking spot the whole time. It's hard. A trombone player also has to like move their slide. I don't know how the fuck they do it. It's stupid. You were percussion, Paula? Paula, I did percussion throughout all of my public school time. I played bass drum my freshman year. I did snare my sophomore and junior years. And then I was drum major my senior year. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, I had developed a private conspiracy theory. And it's all nonsense and they're all on the lie. Just cashing the easiest paycheck ever. No. Oh yeah. And typically they are... I mean, sometimes they can be like, there's definitely a maestro archetype is what I call it, where they are very like artsy and kind of full of themselves and a little bit disconnected from the world around them. But I can think of like one or two that I've worked with that are genuinely like such good dudes, and I loved them. And they were so good at what they did. To have the Rite of Spring nearly memorized in the way that this man did was crazy. Was crazy. If you look at the Rite of Spring score, which I actually own, I think it's in my other room though, like in the library. It's like a small book. It's probably like as thick as this. The score is as thick as this notepad, but it's like a full ass book. It's nuts. My dad used to play drums in marching band. That's so cool. We got a lot of drummers. Wearing berets, drinking wine, those bastards. I know. They do actually serve a purpose. Again, the maestro archetype is very much a thing. I think you thinking that comes because like they do give off that vibe. I think that vibe is real. You know? But very much if the orchestra just played without a conductor there, it would fall apart most of the time. It would be fucking nuts. I can up the music. Okay. Okay, it's about to get loud. So if it blows out your eardrums, I'm really sorry. Can you guys hear this? God, I love the Rite of Spring. Life is a risk. That's just how classical music is though, right? We actually often refer to well, this is more of a classical era thing. I see, now it's too loud. Okay. We call those sometimes terrace dynamics, which is specifically, yep. It's because the whole orchestra decided to come in. Rite of Spring was a bad idea. We're switching this. Gang, what do we want to listen to? I'm going to go to Dvorak New World. Let's do that. That's a nice one. That's a nice chill one. By the London Phil? Sure. Let's do it. Did you already play? I did, Disney. I came in at the very beginning like a proper recital and did my little shtick. I've got to get going, gang. Jose needs a pickup. Wait, who's Jose? What? Some help with errands? Thanks. Oh! Oh, yeah, your partner, Jack. I hope they're doing good. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Tell your partner I wish them all the best. I hope they feel better. But yeah, Disney, we did the I came out of the recital and I did the bow and I started playing, and then afterwards I had this little screen. It was a good time. Jocelyn! Oh! I fucking love that name. And what a cute nickname. Interesting way to say I didn't know. I always say like Joss Whedon. Is it Joss Whedon? This is too loud now. Fucking orchestras. God damn. The music is very fitting. You say it like what? Is it Joss Whedon? I don't know. I've never heard it. I've never heard it be said. I've never heard these things. I'm being judged. I'm being judged. Okay. Y'all let me know if the music is too loud or not. Okay, bye. Bye, Jack. Have a good day. Jack did also bring up, gang, earlier about me not talking in the beginning of the recital. So I should say, ordinarily, yes, that is correct. It is not technically wrong to speak at the beginning, but it's not a great idea because you want to come out while the crowd is excited for a piece and just go ahead and play. But typically in a recital, especially when it's like a solo recital and you're playing through your repertoire, You can speak in between pieces, especially at the end, typically before the last piece. You know, it's always like good to be like, all right, and I'd like to introduce my last piece. And I would also like to thank everyone so much for being out here. It means so much to me. I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and my friends and my partner. And then, you know, you say the whole, like the Oscars speech, right? You do that and then you play your final piece. And then sometimes you do even get the standing ovation. Sometimes you do plan for that, which I did do that my senior year. It's fun to do. The horror! Are there any composers that are hot shit right now? Because my outsider's understanding is that it's just rehearsing the old classics. Yep. Okay, that's a great question. Are there composers that are hot shit? Like, yes and no. And honestly, the composers that are hot shit are probably ones I don't know. They're typically more avant-garde. A lot of times I know orchestras will have kind of like the actual correct word is eluding me, but imagine like an in-house composer. It's kind of like an internship. That's not the word though, but it's like an internship of sorts for an in-house composer. Like the Chicago Symphony did that when I was in college, at least. I don't know if that program still exists, but you know what I mean? They'll kind of look for new and upcoming people, and then they'll play a piece every couple concerts by them, right? Unfortunately, the way classical music is set up, and you've opened a can of worms now, the classical music world is kind of dying in a way, and it's because they are not evolving to the world around them. A lot of times the only people that enjoy classical music or dedicate time and money to it, especially like in the orchestral setting, right? Like the classic Chicago Symphony, New York Phil, Berlin Phil, whatever. The only people that really go out and do that are very old people with money, right? And they're the old people with money that donate to these programs and to these concert halls. Or it's people like me who have studied music themselves, wanted to be classical musicians, went to college for it, maybe at least did like high school band, and they're like, oh yeah, tickets to the Boston Symphony? Like, yeah, I'll go. That'll be fun, right? But for the most part, like regular like Joe Schmo on the street is much less likely to go to the New York Phil and instead maybe go see like a Broadway musical, right? If you're picking one or the other, you're more likely to go to that. And even Broadway's got its own kind of like niche audience, right? So why do orchestras keep playing the classics then instead of playing new music? And it's because the classics are what keeps putting butts in the seats. It's people like me being like, oh yeah, I recognize Sibelius. I recognize Mahler. And even more importantly, the old people with the money. The old people with the money that are donating like the old stuff. They don't like the new stuff as much. So to keep the old people donating and keeping them buying tickets and showing up, we'll keep playing the classics. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that. That's a very like superficial analysis and brief analysis, but it is part of what's going on. And then on the flip side, the song fucking rocks. And then on the flip side, you also have orchestras, maybe once or twice a season, they do what's called a Pops concert. You also have Pops orchestras, but you'll have someone do like a Pops concert, and that's when it's like, we're going to play the Lord of the Rings soundtrack while the film's playing behind us, right? We're going to play the Marvel soundtrack with Marvel going on behind us. And those do super well. Or like the Stardew Valley orchestra thing that's been going on, and people will go listen to orchestra playing the Stardew Valley soundtrack. Those do so well. I don't know why people don't invest more in that, but I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss. It'll get people's butts in the seat once, but it's typically people that don't donate a lot of money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to fix it, but it's going to reach a point where all of the old people with the money have died off. And what are they going to do? They need to figure it out. if I'm being really honest. Just asking because I needed to know if needed to see the VOD or if I hadn't played. Yep. I did it as an opening. I hope you like it. I'd like to thank my jury of my peers for allowing me to be here today. Ads again? Wow, those happen frequently. Shit. Monday is Marbles and Who Said It. Yes, I think we're going to finish Scarlet Hollow on Tuesday then, since Monday is Marbles Day. But yes, Smooch, you're correct. Hi, Subhod. How are you? How are you doing? Today is our classical music day where I played a piece on my French horn. My baby. And then now I'm answering your questions. I actually have a couple of YouTube videos I could pull up too. Stuff of me playing, I think. Some stuff I could find. Yeah, I wanted to go to a couple of those pop ones last fall, but I was too poor. No, exactly. They're expensive. And like, that makes sense. Like, I'm not necessarily saying orchestras should like lower their standards, because I also think people should get paid well. Orchestra music, I don't know who sees the money all the time, because I'll tell you what, orchestra musicians don't get paid very much. Even the really good ones, like, they get paid enough, but they still often have to take on 2 or 3 extra jobs. So there's just a way the system is set up now, the way orchestral seasons work with ticketing, with donations. The system has to change. It's a system from a bygone era of like 100, 200 years ago, where like, yeah, the aristocratic class maybe used to be able to fund music enough in that regard, right? But that's just not the case. They need to do something new. I don't know how they're going to do it. They need to get their shit together, though. I do feel like Pop's concerts is going to be a good way for them to connect with a next generation, but how are they going to do that if they're not able to afford it, per se? I don't know. Yeah, you went to a performance of Return of the King? I think Smooch also said something like that, right? Or they're going to one soon? Yes, Smooch. So Monday we are doing Marbles and Who Said It, and then we'll finish Scarlet Hollow on Tuesday, because Monday's probably going to be full. But yes, that is happening. Where in the coolness rating is French horn amongst the band? Oh God, it depends on who you're asking. I think French horn. Obviously, I'm biased. I think French horn is the fucking best instrument ever. I do have a reason, and there's a reason I switched to French horn at the end of my high school career. French horn is the instrument that can do the most beautiful singing voice of a solo, like sullen, sad, lamenting kind of aria. But French horn can also be so like in your face and metal and epic. It does both so goddamn well. French horn is also this cool kind of middle voice where it can play with the trumpets in like a soaring heroic melody, but also French horn can be paired with like the low brass, and French horn can play alongside the trombones and maybe sound really kind of like sinister and powerful. I think of like the Hans Zimmer Inception soundtrack. Horn can pair so well with the low brass in that. It's so versatile in that regard. French horn's also the only instrument that can be played in both a brass quintet and a woodwind quintet. Its timbre is so unique. It is played with both groups. So, am I biased? Absolutely. Did I pick the instrument at an older age because I realized its superiority? Absolutely, I did. So, yeah, biased, but also I think it's great. What is the stereotype of horn among actual band kids? The straight A students. I'm not even shitting you. I'm not even blowing smoke up my own ass. Oboe players and French horn players are the straight A students. Sometimes they're quiet and awkward and to themselves, but they're definitely the kids that are like, they got something going up here. Yeah, quiet, straight A, introverted for sure. They're good up here. Band directors won't give those instruments to kids not like that. Is it a stereotype if it's true? No, exactly. So Disney, I'm totally agreeing with you, because then when I went through the other side of the music ed degree program, and then like I was the one testing band students and assigning them names or like instruments, if some kid came in and said I wanted to play oboe or French horn, I shit you not, band directors go to their other teachers and they ask them, they're like, how does this kid do? What do they like? And if they seem a little space cowboy, there's a good chance they're not going to put him on that instrument. I'm not even kidding you. Trombone and euphonium, goofballs. Lovable goofballs. Sometimes they like perverted jokes or fart jokes a little too much, but they're lovable goofballs and we love them. Flute players can sometimes be a bit like on the prissy side, but also goody two shoes because they're right there by the director and they will do no wrong. They're rule followers, at least in front of the teacher. They like being good with the teacher and in good graces with the teacher. So Disney's kind of right. I see Sigma's here. Hello. And I think Echo did answer your question. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. Wait, I should link this Warrockles concert in Disky. Oh, you should. Did a thing with a live orchestra. Absolutely link it. That's the kind of stuff orchestras need to be doing to survive, I feel like, the next 50 years. 100%. Unless it's just perpetuating stereotypes. It's not me. It's everyone. It's the system, Disney. It's like the cops. It's the system. It's how it is. The system is bigger than all of us. Because listen, if you have you guys heard a bad sounding oboe? Alyssa's the man confirmed. There's so many jokes I can make here, but I'm not. I can't add fuel to the fire, or else someone's gonna come in and believe it. If you've ever had a bad sounding French horn or oboe, if you've heard that, you'll know why. You'll know why. It's pretty rough. It's not good. A bad oboe sounds like a dying duck. And you think, Alyssa, that's a really funny little joke you just made, dying duck. Yeah, I've heard that before. No, you haven't. No, you haven't, unless you've heard it cut through a beginning band. It's awful. It's awful. And you know what? Godspeed anybody that's got to go through that, because I sometimes understand, like, listen, when you're young and you're learning, you got to go through that hump. I'm sympathetic. But if they're not able to fix it, it's really bad. Did Discord not have a French horn emote? Because it seems a crime that on the Discord, the emote for the music channel is a trumpet. Why did I do that? I think there is a French horn emote. I think it's like, is it Christmassy? No. I'll be changing that. Also, gang, I did see some of y'all's, we were talking about Discord organization a bit last night in the suggestion box. My in-laws are in town, but I do plan on getting to that at some point early next week. So Discord's going to continue to be just a little bit reorganized. And if anyone has any input, I'm all ears. Obviously, I want the Discord to be navigable for you all. So yeah, let me know. The man. Wait, who are the partiers and troublemakers? The vocalists. Yeah, probably. I'd say like, okay, wait, if we're going to include all of the music, all of the musicians, right, in a music program. So in an American school music program, I don't know how it is elsewhere, but that would be your band program, which are wind instruments, your orchestra program, which is only string instruments in public school, and choir or chorus, which are all vocals. I would agree with Echo. I would say in general, all of the orchestra kids are pretty much introverted into themselves and a little bit awkward. Like that's definitely where more of like the awkward introverts go. Affectionately, I love the orchestra kids. Also sometimes called orc dorks. I'm not even kidding. At my school, they called them the orc dorks. I would also say with the vocalists, I would say saxophones aren't like troublemakers, but they're like the chill, cool kids sometimes that like, I don't know, they can be troublemakers or they're like loved by the teacher, but they're so cool that like you don't even understand how that happened. Like they don't seem like a teacher's pet type, but somehow they're like, hey man. Or they're like goofy and get in trouble a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like hyper talkative, they're nice people. They're good students, but they kind of don't know like when to stop. But the teacher always loves saxophonists. I don't know how that happens. I did what orchestra instrument are you? And apparently I'm an oboe. Oh, you're clarinet. Clarinet is like, I hear different things about clarinets. The clarinet section is huge. Rick, I kind of understand the clarinet energy from you. I think I get it. I feel like clarinetists are, well, they're kind of all over the place. There's a stereotype. I don't know how to describe it. Clarinet hive mind is a thing. That's definitely true. Yeah, I can't describe clarinet, but I can see you being a clarinetist. You know what trumpets are? And Alex doesn't fit the trumpet. Trumpets are like egotistical jerks a lot of the time. That's the stereotype. Granted, I've met a lot of trumpets that don't fit that stereotype, but a lot of times they're like the Sopranos. I mean, yeah, because they are in voice. I would say like trumpets and then sometimes flutes and clarinets are like the Sopranos of the band, where sometimes they can be divas, but they like love having the spotlight. You know what I mean? And they're very like into sounding good and then people knowing that they sound good. You know what I mean? Yeah, trumpet equals ego. But the funny thing is, and our joke is, Alex, when he was in college, started playing trombone to learn on the side. And he realized how good he was at trombone naturally that even the other trombone players were like, what the fuck? How do you sound like that? And we all have this joke that like Alex probably in middle school should have been a trombone because Alex's personality type is way more trombone coded, right? So the joke was, especially after hearing how good he was at trombone, was like he should have been trombone all the time. He's got all this trombone energy that he just stuck that he just stuck with trumpet. Oh my god, I'm sorry if that scared anybody. Chet, dude, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Oh man. Mods, can we get a shout out for Chet? Gang, if you're not following Chet, amazing dude, does a lot of crossword, cozy weekend streams. It's awesome. Thank God they missed the flute smack talk. Gang, welcome in. We're doing something a little different today. Today I am doing I have done a French horn recital. Hey, did you know I used to be a professional musician? This is my French horn. I gave a little French horn recital, and now I am answering people's questions about classical music, what it was like to play in orchestras, maybe what it was like to do conservatory style training to be a musician, anything like that. Is it Corrignus? Thank you so much. Oh wait, my follows are supposed to be anonymous. I fucked that up. Thank you for the follow. I'm gonna fix that after stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Normally I am a variety streamer. I play a lot of different games, horror games, cozy games, lots of yapping. And today we're doing this little event. So welcome in. Feel free to ask me any questions you have. Oh man. Yeah, Corgnus, thank you so much. I see Vanakin, hello. Cosmic, hello. Hal, welcome. And of course, Moss. Fluters to horns, right? Wait, are you guys flute players? Bactrian, hello. I have a musical to see, so I gotta go. Wait, actually? Oh my god, have a great time. Have a fantastic time. Thank you for being here. Beepo Juice, welcome. It's a sweet looking horn. You played alto? Okay, wait. Right now, we're talking about people who weren't in band programs are talking about what are the stereotypes. And Chet, you give big alto sax energy. I can totally see it. Two of my best friends in the world I play D&D with are alto sax players, and the energy, if anyone's seen Chet Sellers, that is prime alto sax energy. That's hilarious. Didn't have the mouth for brass. No, I feel that. I feel that. We've kind of been talking a bit about that. That's really fun. Please stay PG, Chet. It is unseemly. Oh no. Here, listen, I've already said a lot of damning things today. I told them about my high school Don't know how my band director felt about this. How we used to yell, "Don't suck, just blow." Can you believe that? Like now as an adult, I feel like that's heinous. What were we thinking? What were we doing? Hi, Annabelle. How are you doing today? Welcome. You switched to bass guitar and joined the stage band. I was that cool. Dude, way cooler than me. I did kind of the reverse. So when I first joined band, I was a percussionist. My only goal with percussion was to be in my high school marching band's drum line, which I did for 3 years. And then I was drum major my last year. But I switched to horn for concert band in between. And then in college, I actually majored in French horn, which is why I'm kind of doing this whole shebang. Also, Chet, hey, thank you so much for the raid, dude. If you do have to raid and run, anybody here, please go take care of yourselves and do so. Forgot to mention that. But you're also more than welcome to stay here and hang out and chill with us at the seminar in the hall. Chet has a Cheer 69 alert with a bad recorder playing My Heart Will Go On. That's fucking amazing. Incredible. I might have a kazoo alert hidden somewhere. No one's found it yet. I might like some shitty kazoo playing. I might think that's really funny. Just like poop jokes, you know? Same diff, same thing. It's orchestra worthy. Is there an instrument that requires the user to suck? Is there? I don't think so. Harmonica? I guess harmonica you can. I think you should blow into it, but I think you can. So, okay, here's a little bit of a Sigma. You'll be lurking. Thank you so much, dude. Here's a bit of a if anyone picks up any instrument, and I can imagine harmonica might actually be like this a little teeny bit. You never want to suck in, and I'll explain a horror story. I see Disney's got to go. Disney, have a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out. Because here's the thing. I mentioned earlier, my horn, this guy, is like roughly 20 feet of tubing. And it's all wrapped up, right? And maybe other band people have done this, because I feel like it happens at least once in a band kid's life. Have you ever, because you always breathe, kind of like here, and the air comes in from the sides, and then you blow into it, right? Have you ever just had your mouth on it, and you like you're gonna suck the life into you through your instrument? This is dirty. Remember how you guys saw me in the recital, empty spit and condensation from in here? That means in a dark, dank tube for so many days and weeks, water will sit in here. And I want you to imagine what's on the inside of something like that, right? Yeah, yummy. Every band kid at some point in middle school or high school will try to suck in through their instrument. And I have done that. And it feels like you take actual poison damage. I'm not even shitting you. If you ever try it, yeah, get grossed out by horny fluids. No. Yeah, it does feel like you take actual disease damage. So no, I feel like you wouldn't in a wind instrument. I gotta answer Beepo's question. So yeah, I feel like maybe no. A harmonica is small enough that you might. I will never use an air instrument. Well, okay, here's the thing too. You do also clean your instruments, right? So you do actually, here's kind of another funny thing. You give brass instruments a bath. You actually submerge them in a bath. You clean them out. You take off all the pipes. All of these I can take off. So, oops. So you can take them all out so that you have easier access to the rotors and inside. You actually snake it the way like a plumber has like snakes to clear out drains and such. Not that this ever gets clogged. If it's clogged, it doesn't work. It never gets that dirty, hopefully. But yeah, you actually have like snake and pipe cleaners that you snake through your instrument and clean it. And you literally give it a little bath. And then you re-oil it, re-grease it. And it's all clean again. If you do that enough, you should be good. But at a high school where the instruments are rented out to a different kid every year, yeah, I could imagine those are probably not as good. Okay, let me see. And also, gang, for this AMA, if I do miss your message or a question, I'm kind of bopping around a bit more, so feel free to repost any message that I miss in here. A coily boy? It is a coily boy. Nolkin, a specialized Chilean trumpet that is played by sucking in air rather than blowing. Okay. That's cool. Desperately avoid sucking unless you've emptied the spit valve. I mean, especially that. Really, it just comes from, I think, like the air sitting in there. I've scared people away from ever using one. There's a valve to empty spit at Lispipo. This is true. This is true. Mine has two. Every once in a while, you get a horn that doesn't have one built in, but then you can actually remove some of the pipes like I just did and just like dump it out. Oh, this part slaps. We're listening to the New World Symphony, gang. If you get thirsty during a recital, you can sneak a cheeky hydration. I hate that. I hate that. Don't. Now, you cannot give woodwind instruments a bath. Woodwind instruments cannot get wet. Brass instruments, if you're in a marching band playing a brass instrument and it starts raining outside, you're good to go. Woodwind instruments, they start freaking out and they run and they're like, I gotta get it in a case. We have to do it. Because some of the instruments are actually made of wood that can get ruined. But more importantly, when they play, they have pads and the pads can't get wet. So that when the pads actually like close down or like close one of the holes to change the pitch of the instrument, the pads will get ruined. And that sucks. That royally sucks. Or yep, corks. Yeah, there's a bunch of other like organic materials in there. Whereas a brass instrument is pretty much like all metal and like grease. So it's a little bit better, a little easier. I'll tolerate bath instruments because that's cute. They're plumbers for instruments. Yeah, I mean, actually, okay, so Bactrian, there are a lot of people you can take your instrument to get cleaned. You can go and pay to get your instrument sonic cleaned, which is something I honestly need to do. But yeah, definitely, you can go. There's different types of technicians that you can go and send your instrument off to for them to clean it, which is really nice. It is also a bit scary, though, because sometimes you get your instrument back and it will actually change the way it feels. And when you're playing at a certain caliber and you change the way it feels, it starts like, you're like, oh no, what have I done? So sometimes I'm afraid to get mine cleaned by other people. I'm a control freak. Sue me. I'm afraid. You like the snake comment? The little snake. My horn's got its own snake. I have a whole cleaning kit in my closet behind me actually for my horn. Imagine a French horn ecosystem right now with mushrooms inside. Stop. We can't. That's actually a really cool idea, but I can't think about that in mine. That'd be awful. Liz, you said that instruments have stereotypes. I do play an instrument. I want to see if you can guess. Isaiah, if you were a band kid specifically, if you don't play a band instrument, if it's like guitar, I'm not going to be able to guess. I think if you were a band kid, hold on, let me think. I think you'd play tenor sax or trombone. I think you'd play tenor sax or trombone. That's what I think. Stealing your screenplay. I could see it as a Pixar film though, right? It'd be good. Sag Beepo had generational talent for horns. They were too grossed out to play. You could have been the next great soloist. The next Bill Capps. Okay. Hey, we're a marching band from a random high school in New York. We have a new guy. Oh my God, Smooch, I'm dead. Don't get your wood wet, chat. Alyssa, if you don't remember which instrument I played in middle or high school, which instrument would you pin me for? Okay. Hold on. Honestly, hold up. I think I do remember the one you said, but I'm actually kind of iffy about it. And I think it's the one I'm thinking of. Out of all the instruments, I don't think you would play. Okay, you know what I think? Here's what I think. I'm torn between two. I'm torn between flute, which is the one I think you played, or bassoon. I think you're like the rare, like, cool ass bassoon person. You know what I mean? My best friends in college, like, bassoon players are so cool. They're like an enigma. They're like cooler oboe players. Is that rude for me to say? Bassoon slaps? No, it really does. And they're such like a niche archetype. I think in like cooler oboe players, the better way to put it. They're like oboe players with like a better fashion sense. Is that I'm gonna start so many fights today. These are stereotypes. Do you know what I mean? You play the clarinet? My best friend in high school was a clarinetist. Let's go. I love a good clarinet sound. I feel like our generation grew up with like a shitty clarinet background because of Squidward. And then you actually hear what good clarinet sounds like and you're like, oh yeah. The Blueprint soundtrack with that bass clarinet. Oh, shit, dude. Woodwinds, not woodwets. You'll hear from my lawyers. Oh my God. I actually taught myself recorder, piano, ukulele, and the guitar. Oh, okay. I never would have guessed that, Isaiah, just because they're not. A band instrument stereotype is so specific, but that's fantastic. That's so cool. Good for you, dude. Wet wood means soft. Oh my God. Smooch. I can't say this all out loud, Smooch. I'm already digging myself a hole. Oboe players with cool haircuts. Yeah, it's like oboe players with cool haircuts and like their fashion sense is very like... Okay, hear me out when I say this. I'm again digging myself a hole a little bit. You know how sometimes you can just tell a person is queer because they know how to dress like so good? Do you know what I mean? Does anyone here know what I mean when I say that? And I'm not saying that non-queer people don't dress well, but there's a certain kind of person that when you look at them, you're like, that's it. That's a bassoonist. Like they know, like they're like the cool people. And then when they get older, you know when older, really artsy people reach a certain age and they get the really cool glasses? Yeah, you clock them. Exactly. You know when older people get like, they're artsy and they hit like 55, 60 years old and they get the cool glasses? That's a bassoonist. A bassoonist is going to do that. Thinks I'm cool and artsy. I do. So that's what I would clock you as. You give a little bit of flute energy because you also, it's the Leo in you. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm here. I'm going to do a good job. I'm the star of the show. But that also makes sense with your like music performance background. You know what I mean? It's that energy. Flute players also like to do well by the band director. They like the attention and they like the band director being like, you did a good job. You rock. And they live off of that shit. And I can kind of relate to that. Yeah, the Leo rising. Exactly. So I'd say you're somewhere in between those two. I shouldn't get into goblin mode. I like Squidward because he played clarinet, even if terrible, and he's cranky like me. Oh, so you liked it. I feel like it almost gave clarinetist a bad name. I almost wanted him to like, I don't know. I wish he sounded better at clarinet, but I know that's kind of like his whole joke, you know? That's kind of his whole thing. That's what he's about. But he do be cranky. He's relatable. He's more relatable the older we get, right? At least for me. There's a hole, there's a goal. Jesus Christ. How many shovels does Alyssa have? This is a digging stream now? I should go get a shovel, shouldn't I? Quick question. What time will Who Said It be Monday? So what we're going to do Monday, if anyone's curious, we do have... I see Chungus is here. Hi, Chungus. Monday is Marbles Day. And what we do is we do a Marbles Grand Prix. once every season. It's like once every 3 months. This is going to be our Spring Marbles Grand Prix, where anyone is welcome to join the Grand Prix. If you win, you get to name our community bot. As in, the bot that passes out all the tarot cards or lets you know whenever we're about to be in ad purgatory. That bot that was last named Boomerbot, you can be here on Monday. And if you win, you get to name that bot whatever the fuck you want. I have the right to veto, so don't do... Obviously, I'm not going to make everything okay, but I'm really only vetoing like slurs. So everything else is pretty much fair game. So be here. We'll be doing that. That's going to be at the very start of the stream. We'll do probably a little bit of yapping like we do for like 30 minutes. We'll do marbles, and then immediately after marbles, we'll do Who Said It, and that will be the rest of the stream. So there should be a lot of time for it. Heliophobia? Oh, never mind. On my Alyssa Sketches / Twitch TV. Okay, let me go. I played neither of those. I played a brass instrument for 1 year and a string for 5. Did you play trumpet? Then you clock me as a trumpet player if you played a brass instrument. Flute players all have praise kings. Stop. I'm gonna tell my flute friend you said that, and she's gonna be like, yeah. Hi, Chungus. Okay, I made it. I'm here. There's an echo in here. Is this a theater? It is. Welcome to the seminar of classical music. It's a special day where this is an event. Actually, hey, you know what we haven't talked about? Gang. This event is from the anniversary stream last June. This is my final fulfillment that I owe you guys. I had 5 big events I had to do on stream that was earned by the community last anniversary stream. And this is my last one. My French horn recital. I'm finally doing it. I'm finally caught up. Someone clocked me. I gotta hide. I think his crankiness won me over. Even as a child. I kind of love that for you, though. I love that for you. I'll be here. Thank you, Paula. No clanker bot. I mean, you can... Oh, it is a name for AI, apparently. I think I actually knew that. I have heard that nickname before. It's kind of funny. Hi, Nora. How are you doing? With the King of Swords. Let's go. I did want to play trumpet, but my mouth was too big. Really? Okay. So then... Euphonium? If your mouth was too big, then certainly not horn. And I feel like I would have remembered if you told me you were a horn player. For sure. I'm subbing Monday. Hopefully I can catch some during lunch or after school. Yay! I think you will be able to. Just because that's probably going to at least be a 3-hour stream. Did you play trombone? How did I forget that? Yeah. Did you like trombone? I mean, if you only played for 1 year, maybe not. String. Viola or cello? I'm going to take a swing, and I leaned first for viola, but no one ever plays viola, so I am going to take a swing at cello. Fuck, I should have gone with cello. No one ever plays viola, which kind of makes me sad, but whatever. Chaos Bot? You could do that. You could name it Chaos Bot. What else is happening next week? Oh my god, wait, there's a lot happening next week. Gang, next week is full. Hey, you know what else is happening next week? Do you like books? Do you like books? With this song, it's so funny. Hey, we do a book club. And next week's book club discussion is happening in our Discord on Krampus. But even more important, Thursday stream is the book club bracket, which is when, even if you don't read, even if you're not in the book club, it's a bracket tournament. Do you know March Madness? Do you know bracket tournaments? Do you like yelling at people and watching people fight to the death for books they don't even know about? You use your channel points to vote through a tournament, a bracket style tournament for a mystery book that gets picked for our next book club. It's a blast. If you happen to be free on Thursday, you should totally be here for it. It's such a good fucking time. It's so good. You play viola? Bactrian, we need more viola players in the world. Viola's amazing. I love viola. My stepsister played viola? That sounds like a joke. I know you're probably not joking, but to say my stepsister plays viola is such a, like, poor viola players. Oh, God, that's funny. Why does Alyssa hate Moss for getting the trombone? You know I don't. Moss is a saint. Oh, you were bullied at a band? I do think I remember that story. That sucks. Your band director should have been on that shit. Okay, Moss, we are finishing Scarlet Hollow on Tuesday. Basically, next week, if you're curious about my stream next week, it's a week full of good shit. Tuesday, it's the marbles for the bot naming race and Who Said It, which is a community-based game on people's messages. I try to guess who said what message on stream. And you can actually join Who Said It here. I have a whole... Who Said It is a game my husband and Mod right at the right built. If you want to join Who Said It, I have a local file on my computer that saves your messages. And if at any time you want to opt out, you can. And basically, he's built a game where it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire style. Your message will pop up. And I have to guess out of 4 multiple choice options who said it. And there's lifelines and stuff that I can use, like 50-50, poll the audience, that kind of thing. So I'll be doing that Monday. Tuesday, we're finishing Scarlet Hollow. Thursday is our book club bracket. So a very exciting week in the sketchy realm. You play amateurish guitar. Let's go. That's fantastic, though. I left this lurking, and I just want to say one of my best friend plays viola. Thank God! We need more of them. I'm glad. Fair, but it's true. It just sounded like a joke, but I know you were serious about it. I'm leaving now. Have fun. Tyria, have a great time at your musical. Monday marbles. Yes. Whatever I said, I guess was wrong. Whoops. She did her best, but it was her first year ever as a teacher. Yeah. That... I so feel for first year teachers, dude. They go through the trenches. They go through the trenches. Oh my God, that is next week. And Friday. Oh my God, I'm so like, I'm taking one day at a time. Hey, you know what else is going on? Holy shit. I'm so busy. You know what's going on after all that? Friday, after the book club thing. Do you guys see that channel Backyard Blanket Fort that Wild Moon Echo just pulled up? That's a subathon. We're doing a subathon. Beepo, thank you for the follow. We're doing a fucking subathon next weekend. It starts Friday. It is capped, but it should go through the weekend. It starts with 12 hours of camp. C-A-M-P. Thank you. You can blame Dvorak for that. It starts with C-A-M-P. Friday, 12-hour stream. The clock starts. And then, through a bunch of different things that go on, I think we even have a camp command. We do. You can check out a Google Doc, March 6th. You can check out how you can add time to the clock, because there's a bunch of different ways, even if you can't support financially. And there's going to be a weenie roast. We're going to be building blanket forts. It's going to be a great time if you want to hang out there this weekend. It's on Backyard Blanket Fort, which is me and my husband right at the right duo streaming. So it's going to be chaotic. It's an intense announcement. I forgot how intense this week was going to be, dude. And Echo, thank you for reminding me. Oh my God, we'll probably be doing this next week. This time next week, I'll be live at camp, dude. Oh shit. You haven't touched your viola in like 4 or 5 months. Oh, that's okay. Hey, I didn't touch my horn for like 8 years, and now I'm playing again. So that's been fun. I'll be bothering Chet to raid BBF. Hell yeah. Excellent. That's what we want to see. How late do we start Friday? Friday, we're going to be starting actually around this time. Whatever hour it is for you based on your time zone, we will be starting 25 minutes earlier. And then we will be going at least a full 12 hours. And then probably longer with the subathon timer. Absolutely. If musicians change instruments, do they feel like they're cheating on their original instrument? Chances are if they're changing instruments, they're ready. People do play secondary instruments, and oftentimes that's for another ensemble. So for instance, a French horn player and concert band might want to play in a jazz band, but French horn isn't a typical part of the instrumentation of a jazz band. So they'll normally go to like trumpet. I have seen a French horn player go to saxophone and trombone actually, but most of the time they'll pick up trumpet as a secondary instrument. But yeah, chances are if you're like picking up another instrument, you're kind of like, I think I want to do this instead. You're going to be like, I'm out of here. But it depends. To each their own. Do you have your own fort? We are going to be building one with our blankets and pillows in the house. That whole channel, Backyard Blanket Fort, is supposed to be like returning to like nostalgic roots of childhood and kind of like chaotic fun, which is a little bit different. Like I'm definitely in it, and so like my personality contributes, but the vibe of this channel and that channel are just slightly different. So no, we'll be building the fort out of blankets and pillows and chairs and whatever we can find in our basement. There's a fort, there's a weenie roast, there's gonna be arts and crafts. Come join us in the fort. You're so right. And because it's a subathon, should be available for every time zone this time around. I warned them. I said, feel free to raid Alyssa. I'd love to, but also they're doing a subathon next week, just so you know. Excellent. Yeah, divorcing your instrument. You kind of do sometimes. Not the normal start time. It's gonna be much earlier during the day. It's gonna be way closer to Alyssa's normal start time. The Alyssa Sketches start time. In sports, if you're a boxer, learning baseball will make you a better boxer, or basketball and tennis, etc. There's some cross-sport neuron activation that happens. Is this the same in music? Rick, that's tough. Honestly, that's a great question. I think there's actually going to be different camps. There's going to be different schools of thought for what people would think about this. I believe it depends on how I think it depends on how seriously you're kind of taking it. Am I trying to be top of my game auditioning for the world's best orchestras? I'm not going to play another brass instrument. I don't want to. Because of how I was explaining earlier about range, the embouchure and the fine attenuation of the muscles with my tongue position, with my air, with my breathing, because that has to be so fine-tuned to play at that caliber. When you play a trumpet or a trombone or even a different woodwind instrument, right? Even like then, I think switching to a woodwind instrument might be better because it's a little more separated. If I played another brass instrument, subtly, all the calibration of my face is different. So it's not like training up reflexes and maybe like expanding your muscles' range of motion, right? Like now I'm generally more limber because I'm moving my muscles in a different way, right? But it can actually kind of throw off your mental calibration of where the notes are. What should a slur feel like if I'm doing octave slurs on my horn versus a different instrument? And suddenly when you go back to your instrument, you're less fine-tuned. Are there people out there that do this? Like, probably, absolutely. And I bet some people would make the argument that that is the case. I think if you're going for the fucking principal chair at the London Symphony, don't do that. I think if you're learning or maybe you're not in audition, like if you're not in audition mode, then I think, yeah, learning a different instrument, it gives you like a different kind of education. It broadens your horizon more and probably like attunes your ear better to different ranges of different instruments. Definitely, no matter what, definitely helps you with different styles. 100% helps you with different styles. So I would say it kind of depends on your musical goals. In general, late college, I did not want to be playing other instruments. I did for jazz band, but I was never happy about it. If that makes sense. There's going to be a field trip to Lowe's probably. There will be. There will be. We've also got planned ball time for Percy, where we'll be playing ball outside with Percy at camp. Percy, no, excuse me, is my little boy, my little cockapoo. We love him. Oh, it's free for BBF. Let's go, Smooch. Hey, if anyone raids in, raiding in is a way you can add time to the sub clock. I'm just saying. There was a famous Russian heavyweight boxer whose dad made him take ballet lessons during puberty. It gave him insane movement skills in his boxing career. See, that I can definitely see, because then suddenly you're moving better and different to your competition. Whereas if you're not calibrated to your instrument perfectly, you're not winning your audition, you know? And then you're just kind of like hurting yourself there. So that's kind of what I mean by like, I guess it depends on what mode you're in. If you've already got your job and you're just trying to learn and become a better musician, then I do think playing different instruments, or definitely in different groups and different styles, makes you better. It makes you smarter. You'll be able to play more musically, and I think with a lot more heart and soul than other people will. But a lot of times nowadays, people like, they do look for technicians versus musicians, right? If you chip notes, you're not fucking making it. Yeah, like an actor's range versus skill for a specific role. Right. That is an excellent metaphor for that. What kind of tea are we making, Janko? Chamomile? Is that what I see? Oh, no. Rick wants to make chamomile. Honey, lemon, ginseng. Ooh. I know, little Porcy. He's probably hanging out with my mother-in-law, I think, is downstairs. Alex and my father-in-law are at Lowe's as we speak, fixing electrical in the basement. We might have a wall up before camp. We'll see. Guys, we've been doing home renovations in my house for like a year now. It's something. Oh, thank you, Smooch. I was going for the principal chair in the London Symphony in 2 weeks. Good to know I shouldn't cheat on my current instrument. The triangle. Shut the fuck up. That's so good. Yeah, I'm flying out to London next week, you know. I had to pack my triangle in the briefcase. Hey, you guys want to know a fun fact? Did you know cellists often have to buy a second plane ticket and their cello sits next to them in the other seat? Fun facts. Alyssa, you should update your follower and bits goals. Yeah. I'm just going to let Twitch keep doing their thing. See how far we take it. You should ask Mom at the right to come say hi since Alex can't protest. Nah, she's actually, I think, downstairs with Percy doing a puzzle, I think. For camp, it says guessing game, draw on your back. I'm curious to see how we can participate in drawing on the back as a lonely single person. Rick, what if I told you we actually have an idea? I'll give y'all a sneak peek. I think we're going to try playing Pictionary with you guys. I think we're going to try playing Pictionary with chat. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. We're figuring it out. But Pictionary might be happening. We'll see what happens. If you buy a second plane ticket, do you get double dinner? Oh shit, Paula, I think you're right. Yeah, how far is this plane taking us? Do I get all of the extra snacks? They better give me double snacks. I want that. That'd be so good. You gotta buy the extra plane ticket for your triangle. She's feisty when we travel. Yeah, Percy is a genius. He's a genius. Otherwise, you're leaving it to the whim of the fucking airline luggage folks, which, as a wheelchair user, can attest is always a bad idea. I actually had a friend did that once. It's kind of a no thing by the time you get to college, that it's like, for my horn, I've never had to travel on a plane with my horn, thankfully. But yeah, it would definitely have been a carry-on. Cellos are too big for carry-ons, so that's why they'll buy the extra ticket often for them. And sorry, the music got big. Big music. And a friend of mine knew, like, yeah, you should buy the extra plane ticket. And I think she was just like a broke college kid and was like, I can't afford it. Let's just try it this one time. And they opened their cello case and the whole cello like caved in. The whole thing was wrecked. And they had like a GoFundMe going in college to crowdfund a new cello for them. They were a cello performance major too. Like, they took that shit seriously. Hi, Dim. Oh shit, are you doing good? How are you? I did perform already. It was at the very beginning of the VOD, and then we've been doing the AMA since. It was like in true recital fashion. So everyone should be able to go back and watch the VOD. Cello turned to jello. It really did. It was disastrous. Crazy. You technically can buy oversized or specialty luggage, but oh, that's interesting. I just know that's a thing that they do. If you talk to any cellist, they'll let you know, like, yeah, I buy second plane tickets. Al, how did you feel to play horn for us? Something you want to do, never, or sometimes. Honestly, I have not gotten nervous at any of my orchestral performances these last couple months since returning to playing. I got nervous playing for you guys. And I don't even get nervous on regular stream days anymore. Like, I come here, I sit down, and I'm like, hey, let's hang out. Woo. Sitting down and realize, like, I could see chat moving a little bit from the corner of my eye. And I actually got a teeny bit nervous. And I don't know why that is. I think it's still probably because my musician identity. You guys know I'm pretty open about how I very much had a bit of an identity crisis when I left music, where it's like ego death. And I bet a lot of people can relate to this. It's like the whole, so much of my identity was wrapped around me being a performing musician. And when I left it, I was really ready to shed that and just kind of like, my self-worth is me and I'm important and I'm not my job. I'm so much more than that. But I think there's still a part of me that, like, I don't know, live performance is always a little scary because you want to do a good job and you want people to think you're doing a good job, Definitely not anywhere near as nervous as I used to be, but I did find myself like clamming up a teeny bit. And I was like, what the fuck? Especially because this mic, about halfway through this piece, I was doing really crazy dynamic changes because this piece goes like, it's all over the place to be more musical and lyrical and kind of aria-like. I've realized about halfway through, I'm like, I bet this damn mic isn't picking up any of the volume changes, the dynamic changes I'm doing. Oh, Mohammed just came in to say hi. Hi, Mohammed. Thanks for popping in, dude. Thank you so much. Have a good day. But yeah, I bet any of the volume changes that we call those dynamic changes in the music world, I was like, I bet any of these dynamic changes I'm doing, this mic is not picking up. Why am I making it harder on myself? So then on the second half, I was like, I'm just going to play comfy, mezzo comfy, as I call it. Mezzo comfy range. So funny. Cute little nervous Alyssa. I don't know why. I perform so much. When I perform in a group, I'm much less nervous now. But yeah, something about the solo thing made it like, uh-oh. Because we're going to backseat your playing, of course. Can you believe she chipped that note? How could she? I nailed the high note, though. Still got that. I think maybe chat is a different kind of feedback compared to audience faces that have to stay silent. That's very true. I think also some of it might be that I very much care about y'all's... Well, hold on. This isn't entirely true. To say this is not entirely true. I was going to say, I very much care about all of your opinions. And some of that is like, let me say, some of you guys have been here for a very long time and you're cool people and I know a lot about you. And it's to the point where I would not want to disappoint you. Even if you're relatively new here and you talk in chat, chances are I think you're a pretty neat person because I just like learning about people. What I want to be aware of is the general hive mind of Twitch. You guys know when I say Twitch chat, because like that's why I often talk to you guys as like individual people, and I'll like address you guys by your names. It's because like that's what you guys are. Like we're all kind of like chit chatting in like a big seminar hall, if you will. Whereas like sometimes Twitch chat can get like a hive mind. And that's like where I don't care about what the world thinks of me. But I feel like I know you guys now as like individuals that I don't want to disappoint you. I think that's what it is. And that's why I think it's left over from me wanting to do good as a performer. It's a very weird, convoluted thing. It did pick them up pretty well. Okay. I'm glad. Shit. I was shocked. You guys were right behind me, like in my bell too. So I wonder if it clipped a little bit. Sorry if it did. We tried our best. You're gonna have to watch the VOD because you missed the recital. I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people weren't expecting it to be right off the rip. But I wanted it to feel like a real thing, man. Someone donated a booklet of gold leaf that is wrapped in paper towel. I'm in hell. Oh no. Oh no, Moss. That does sound like hell. Well, gang, it is about lunchtime for me. I think we've cleared up the AMA. Obviously at any time, if anyone has any music questions, you know, I'm a chatty streamer to begin with, so I'm always down to answer, but I think it's time. I think it's time I head out. Anybody got any parting words? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a fun time. Ad Purgatory is even among us. See, look, it's time. They're kicking us out. I'm gonna find somebody maybe that we can raid. Let's see, who have we got? Oh, thank you guys. Thanks for streaming. Thank you so much for coming in. I gotta thank you guys for the follows. We've had some subs today. The raid was huge. Oh, we got a lot of people we could raid today. That's exciting. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't believe I got a little bit nervous playing for you guys, but I am so glad I did it. I'm glad I caught up with all of my little anniversary goals for you guys. Let's see what we got. Thanks for the recital in the chat. It is always lovely to talk music. Thank you, Echo. Sorry I missed so much. No, don't apologize at all. I know, Bloobs is live. We got a lot. I gotta spread the love, though. Okay, gang. Wait, what is this? Okay, we're gonna go to, actually. I've wanted to raid this person for so long. And they're never live when I'm live. So we're gonna raid them. They're doing co-working and studying. Hey, it's anonymous now. Hey, thank you so much. We're supposed to have anonymous follows here. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate you. I hope that works next time. Again, thank you. Time for new anniversary goals. We're running behind. Dim. I've got some stuff cooking. We'll be doing it. Hi, Mario Lover. Did I miss the French horn? Yeah, unfortunately. Feel free to go back and watch the VOD. I did the recital at the very beginning, and then it was an AMA all about my time as a professional musician. So feel free to go back and watch. I'll also be posting this on YouTube if you prefer to watch VODs there. But yeah, sorry. We're about to raid out. Guys, we're going to go raid, I think it's Hoodbine. They stream Baldur's Gate 3. And their Baldur's Gate 3 streams are so goddamn fun. They describe themselves as a granny, and you get cookies from the granny. They're fantastic. They're doing co-working right now. But I want to raid into them. And if you follow them, their Baldur's Gate 3 streams are fucking top tier. Go have a chill time, especially coming off of the seminar. You know, I used to take naps after my lectures in college. Sometimes we got to do that. Sometimes we got to do that. Thank you so much for being here. Remember our subathon next week, camp. Remember, we also got marbles one day, book club. It's going to be huge. It's a huge week in the sketchy realms, okay? You play horn, by the way? Mario, hell yeah. It's always good meeting other band people. That's so cool. I would love to chat with you more about that in the future because we have a lot of musicians in the chat. My husband also used to be a band director. He plays trumpet. Yeah, good stuff. Go raid Hoodbean. I hope you have a lovely time. Relax, de-stream, say some nice things. And I hope to see you Monday. Have a great weekend.